here on this platform of wonderful i5 and share my thoughts on this topic of connected cars. And I'll focus more on the car to car rather than connected cars. I think we have spoken enough about the mundane features. So let me talk about the future, what it looks, particularly also in the Indian context. I think let me start with a couple of questions. I'm sure all of you are driving cars, but how many of you drive connected cars? Yeah, connected car. Sure, many. How many of you drive cars which are having the feature of car-to-car communication? I think there was a question also in Indian context actually, is there a car-to-car communication? Actually, I thought we have innovative solutions there in India. Maybe it sounds like this. What is the car-to-car communication actually? If you look at really the amount of innovation we have got in this car-to-car communication with HANS, how many emotions we communicate. There is a real dictionary and vocabulary you can make out. It may vary from city to city, from polite to some other terms what are used just with HANS. So I think that is our. Similarly, if you talk about infrastructure or car to infrastructure communication, at least in Bangalore, you can find that suddenly in the middle of the road, you will find a tree branch, green, and that means there is a pothole. Or you will find a BMTC bus standing with the, again, tree in the back. That means it's a vehicle which is broke down. So these are all what we call the infrastructure to car communication, what we have got. Of course, moving on to the real serious stuff of technology based, what do we mean by car to communication? I'll try to cover a few aspects like the business systems, how is it evolving, and in the Indian context, car to car, many questions were there. What does it mean? Some thoughts on that, and finally, what does it mean overall? Why should we do it? What does it mean to all of us? So let me try to cover these three aspects. Business models and evolution. Let me start with some key buzzwords what we are talking today: cloud, apps, big data. These are all becoming the buzzwords what we are using every day. I think connected cars is also a buzzword which is just in the same lines we are talking today. If you look at the genesis of all this, where does all these terms started? It's very interesting to see the technology trend start with typically the consumer electronics devices, the smartphones, of course. We keep talking about smartphones. If you look at the evolution of phones from the mobile phones, all of us know the original purpose is just wireless voice communication, where it started with. We remember the days of Nokia phones with big numbers and a small display. Where we have come today, is the phone being used for voice communication? We use it for downloading music. We use it for listening to music. We use it for taking pictures. We use it for sharing pictures. We use it for Facebook, browsing. So where is the original purpose? It has outlived the original purpose of just voice communication, where it started with. Look at the business model. Typically, in this kind of a device, the original model was there is a cost, people will pay for the hardware, and then people will pay for the service, which is basically your voice communication. But today, how many more things we pay? We pay for the apps, we pay for certain subscriptions, and the device has become so popular, there is a community behind that people are tracking that iOS 6 is released or Jelly Bean 4.1 is released, and people are excited. People stand in queue at 4 o'clock in the morning and willing to pay $500 for this device. I think this is the evolution of the business model, how a community and excitement is created about an electronics product. Auto industry is no way different. Actually, people are trying to emulate this model in a perspective in the last few years. Can we create an excitement around the car by these kind of very similar features? People are talking of apps. People are talking of HMI, where you have the similar HMI like an app, like an Apple phone. So you start the multi-point touch, you have the multicolor display, you can download a screensaver. All these features are coming into car, but the question comes is, where does it end? If it continues in this trend, most of the things are possible with your smartphone, and it would end up there. Possibility is in the car, finally you need a large display, probably, and a smartphone, and a good sound system with speakers. The rest of the things can happen either over the cloud or over the smartphone, and you can connect it. There is no need for any electronics or computation or all those things in the car, if this is the only direction, if it is app direction, which can happen on a smartphone. I think that is the thought process. Probably, this is my own interpretation, what is happening, why the direction is shifting towards just moving out. Cars are taking a turn, I would call, towards safety features. Because finally, when we talk of the video, what we just now saw, emergency braking, your smartphone cannot do emergency braking. At the most, your smartphone can warn you that there is an hazardous situation. I think that is a differentiator which is going to lead the industry. This is what the OEMs and suppliers strive together to retain the electronics back in the car so that it doesn't get into smartphone and doesn't get into the cloud. And more features will come which will make that electronics is needed, processing power is needed, and of course there is a huge value of safety what the users get. So cars will go back to the original purpose, not for browsing internet or not for Facebook, but will go back to the original purpose of commuting from point A to B, but much more safely, much more conveniently. So this is the business trend. But coming to the connected cars, I think there were some questions on how does it matter in Indian context. Let us take some use cases which are interesting, which are already being tried out or being piloted in the Western countries. A feature called, for example, statically, there are certain hazardous places. Maybe there is snow in a place and then every car coming there starts slipping and then the ABS comes on. Is it possible that this information is transmitted and you get it back on your navigation system? This is tried out already. So this is kind of information helps you. Your ABS system is already prepared. Even you before, anyhow you have to go through the road maybe, but your ABS system is already prepared and your safety improves a lot. This is one of the use cases. Just transport this to Indian context. Maybe we don't have snow in most of these places what we are talking. There could be a huge pothole or a big speed hump, which are sometimes so hazardous that accidents happen in India. If you are daily commuting on the same road, you know these places and you avoid. I know a place in Jainagar 4th block where I cross, I know that I have to suddenly, after the signal, I have to avoid this point. But if somebody is driving there for the first time, he wouldn't know that and probably there could be some damage. And this is a static info I call because our potholes remain forever. It's not a dynamic data. So that is one interesting information that you can get it. This is a very simple case. Let me talk of some other thing like signal jumping. It's a practice in India. In connected cars, what they are talking, if there is an intersection approaches there and a car is going to take a turn, they communicate with each other and communicate their intention that they are going to take a turn. Maybe we can have a feature probably that I'm going to jump the red so that others are aware. People do that. I think humor apart, I think there are many such use cases. We can bring it in the Indian context. Emergency vehicle, just take. There are stretches with our one-way system, what we have made. There are some places where 2 kilometer stretch, there is no turn possible. Vehicles have to go in one way, one side of the road. And if I have seen many times how many ambulance or emergency vehicles are going and the whole traffic is stuck. Actually, with connected car concept, the idea is that they will transmit and then people can give way. As a culture, it will become, and then it becomes much more smoother. So these are some of the use cases could be done easily. Emergency braking is a different situation in the Indian context with bumper to bumper car traffic and what happens, that's a different question. But these kind of real use cases could be attempted. Let us talk of enforcement, for example. In the airport road, if 80 kilometers speed limit is there, but people drive at 100 or 110 jumping all the signals, we could probably enforce that beyond 80 you cannot drive on the airport. Maybe it is connected car or infrastructure to car connection is there and the speed limit is enforced. Whatever pedal you press, it will not go more than that. There could be such interesting cases for Indian context. So where does all this lead? Basic questions are coming like, okay, some of the features are fancy, will emergency braking coming to India? Why do we need all these features? That's where the way we are looking at the whole thing is 5 levels of safety. The first one, what I told is the safety. The static information, what I told, like on the road, there is a hazard, there could be an accident, there could be a oil spill. So this kind of information could be updated to you. So you are well aware, well prepared. Second point comes is certain dynamic things, like there is an accident which has happened, there is a pile up, so you avoid the road. So this is also already there, kind of systems are there. The third level is where it becomes interesting, that there is a hazardous situation that you are about to collide or you are entering a situation where it is unavoidable, that there is a vehicle in front of you or suddenly you detect that. This is where the ABS systems or ESP systems can start preparing the braking in advance, and without your intervention of the driver, it could immediately act on its own and start a maneuver or collision avoidance, third level. Fourth level, even after that it is unavoidable accident, then emergency braking happens. Fifth level, even after all these things, it could happen in certain unforeseen situations that there is a real accident, the airbag is prepared much in advance and emergency call is already made. So these kind of 5 levels of safety are possible completely, and I'm sure some of this can be brought to Indian context completely, if not all the situations. And if you look at the opportunities for engineers, this is what I come to the point, last point. We have call drops. I was also surprised to hear that the problem is not limited to India. In US also we heard it is the same problem. You can't drive for a few kilometers without a break in signal. Yeah, that's a reality, given reality. Maybe it changes over time. Or people do not wear even helmets. That's a kind of compliance where we are. Or we are talking of situation, jumping red signals we talked about. So these are the situations with these kind of constraints. Do we think that we can bring such technology of emergency braking? I think I would look at that as an opportunity rather than a challenge. Given these constraints, is it possible that we can innovate in the Indian context? I would say it is possible. And the last point I would like to cover is, why do we need to do that? I think it's a bigger question. Always it's important to understand the why question. Unfortunately, as a country, we have a dubious record of being in number 1 position. Number 1 position in what? The number of road accidents and how many people die. We have 140,000 people dying on the roads in our country. This is the highest in the entire world. Just compare with countries in Europe. Germany has around 2,500. France has got 2,300. UK has got 2,000 deaths per year. And we have got 140,000. Interesting fact is not that people who are fatally injured are not inside the car, they are outside the car, actually, in India. Can we do something about that? Can we innovate for this? Can we save lives? That's where I feel the challenge is, bringing in the Indian conditions, and I am sure we can do with the power of innovation what we have got. I am sure you would agree. Thank you.
Since you talked about the safety, I mean, that being brought into India, so I don't know if this is an idea I'm giving in. Can the technology be standardized throughout to avoid, I mean, to talk in general, can we stop a vehicle from entering into one way, going into a wrong way? Or can we monitor the speed based on the speed limit which we see, I mean, beside the road? Can that standardization be brought into India to avoid some of the accidents?
Enforcement, that's what I was telling. We can go with simple enforcement. Actually, we have a patent that, for example, in certain areas, we are not allowed to honk near a hospital. People honk that. We can even stop that. Even if we press, it don't honk. Simple thing to start with. It is possible, but of course, this requires regulations and much more enforcement. But in principle, it is possible. We can bring slowly. Already, the speed limiting devices are there in many of the cars in the airport road, but they also know how to remove a plug out of that. I think that is a challenge.